Hang on, guys. We're almost there.
Wow. I feel like we should redo this. What? Nice.
Okay. I think we're here, right? We're here.
Yeah, we're here finally. We're
That's
here.
what we get for trying new stuff on the fly and not testing it. But that's what makes the show great, right? That we
Usual.
go that we go in and we're like, you know what? This sounds cool. Let's just try this. And we just dive into the deep end, man. That's
So
why
I
that's
left. I left a minute ago. Did you figure out the studio? Did you get back to where you wanted to be? Or are you still stuck in
no,
never?
I'm still kind of stuck in this new little studio thing. I'll figure it out, dude. I might
Okay.
have to start one of these chats with the bots or whatever and figure out. And it may be gone now. I mean, because it was on like a beta test for like all last year. So I think this may be the way forward now.
Oh shit! Awesome. Wow, that's good.
Yeah. So again, just trying to get used to it, I guess. I bet you do, Dave. I bet you do. Reminds you of those seedy places in New York, doesn't it? I bet. Yeah.
Oh,
You know which ones I mean. Yeah.
dude. Wow.
Well, welcome back, folks, for our week 2 edition of South Texas Football Unlimited, presented by Dawson's Recycling. So we've got some news, right? Obviously, that we want to share today. That we're going to start the show off with. We have a couple of sponsors on the show. We have a show sponsor, which is Dawson's Recycling, as you just saw, and we have an exclusive auto dealer sponsorship with Al Williford Chevrolet here in Portland,
Yep.
or there in Portland, because I'm in Odom, Spuds in Portland. So we want to say thank you to both of these entities for helping us out, really, because what they're doing is they're allowing us to honor and expose more of these high school athletes that we come into contact with daily, allow more exposure, and allows us to expand our show a little ways. That's going to go a long way as far as getting new equipment and things like that. We had a little hiccup this weekend
Yeah.
in Cuero. So we went to Cuero to do our inaugural live preseason or pregame show, and it was a great little venue, right? Cool little spot in Cuero, a place you wouldn't have thought would have been in Cuero.
No. Very
And
cool.
we had a Wi-Fi connection and everything. That's what I was really nervous about. They didn't have a hard LAN connection; it was just a Wi-Fi. So I was a little worried about how it was going to work and if we were going to be able to connect. And when we ran our test, it went fine, right? It went flawless. Um, but then as people started getting there, we started to realize we were getting choppy. It would cut out, it would jump back in. It was doing that constantly. And then we kind of realized, well, all these TVs are on Wi-Fi. Their POS is on Wi-Fi. Everybody else on the Wi-Fi. So we were just bogging down the system. So it didn't work.
Not to
So
mention everyone that was coming to the restaurant was coming back over there to see what was going on, right? So you got all those people probably immediately plugging into the Wi-Fi if they've been there before. So that wasn't
yep,
helping us out.
yep. So lesson learned. We know what we need to do, right? So these two sponsorships, uh, friendships, I guess we want to call it, right, versus a sponsorship, they're going to allow us to get some more equipment that we can properly do these road shows and things like that. Because all we needed was our own router or a hotspot, and we would have been fine. But again, lesson learned. Now we know. So we're not discouraged. We're going to try this again. We know it'll work.
I would
We would preferably like to have a land connection, but if we have to go Wi-Fi, we can do it. Go ahead, Spud.
I would like to get some feedback though if people did catch the right before it started cutting up and chopping out on us. I felt like watching back on some of it that the potential that this endeavor has is great, right? Like I really thoroughly enjoyed The fact that we were able to get the commercial on there for everything, we had we were going to put our other sponsor commercials on there. I felt like the show was flowing well. I felt like the setup of it was looking pretty good. But of course, we're a little biased, right? It's kind of what we put on our work into it. But if you have an opportunity, hop on here and give us some feedback on that, man, or maybe some ideas, right? That you see that we don't see for the potential future shows, or throw some venues out there at these places. I was just kind of throwing at us on the fly, right? And we went out there and it was awesome, dude. We honestly had a really good time. It was me, Jake, Blake, and Ace, and a little road trip over there to Cuero. It was fun. We learned what we can do and what we need to work on, right? But I thought the potential was pretty high for that.
You were right the first time, man. It was Columbus. You're correct, and he did not miss a beat. We'll get to that later. But yeah, dude, it was great. I liked it. They enjoyed having us there. They were apologizing because of the connection. They felt really bad about that. But it is what it is, right? It was a roll of
Yeah,
the
you
dice.
live and learn.
We knew that going in there that it was a risk, and we had that false sense of security when the test worked fine with nobody really in the restaurant. But if you ever go into Cuero, because we have a lot of Coastal Bend games in the Cuero region, I know Miller's going there. Sitton's not going there this year, but Ingleside may be going there this year. They're a district foe now in small 4A here. Uh, Hit up the EV thing. It's a really cool spot, man. And if we cut out, I haven't seen it here. I saw it in California when I was on vacation. Their tap room, they have self pour taps, right? So
So,
you buy it on a card and you tap the card against the little screen and it pours you based on and they what really was cool when I was talking to Robert about it is that it limits your pours, right? So if you get a 36-ounce pitcher of beer, a growler, you can't get another one for an hour.
oh wow,
So that's how they're limiting beer sales. So they're not gonna people don't get tanked and act a fool there, but
yeah.
but
And
it's a really cool spot.
get the gelato on the way out of town. The gelato was honestly very good.
Yeah,
The food,
they have handmade gelato there.
food was good,
Uh,
but the gelato was better.
yeah, well, I don't know. My food was pretty good, dude.
No, my food was good, but so to me, the gelato was out of the world. The churro was really good, and then the thing is they stay open late, right? So you can get it after the game as well. That's the
Yep,
big kicker right there. They're open late.
yep, that's really cool. But
Yep.
so that was our Coiro adventures last week. Do you want to talk about? I guess we can talk about the Columbus game now. What we saw, or do you want to save that for before we go to break?
We can talk about it before we go to break. It's fine.
Okay. So let's recap last week's games. All right, Thursday night games, and this is where I'm an idiot, right? So we always keep track of this thing, and I lost my sheet of paper where I wrote everything down on the picks. So my bad. Actually, before we jump there, yeah, I guess we could talk about it now, right? I think we had 8 new coaches in the Coastal Bend this season, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine.
Nine.
9 new coaches in the Coastal Bend. 7 of them got wins in
Yep.
their first game at their respective schools. Uh, Mathis, which was a shocker, right? I don't think anybody came out and saw Mathis beating Taft as the way they did, 30-6. So congratulations, Coach Acosta and the Pirates on your first win there in Mathis. Cal Allen, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Little sore spot for Justin. They came out with a win. Congratulations, Coach Reeve and the boys. Rockport Fulton, Coach Souza got his
Yeah,
first
dude.
win there against Orange Grove against Coach Johnson, who was also a first-year coach. He got the loss on that one. It was a 50-50 on that one. It's going to go either way with the new coach. Drew Cox and Refugio got a pretty big win last week against Catula, 49-6. Way to break it in. Congratulations, Coach Cox. Coach Elwood at Flower Bluff had a pretty big win as well against Mexico City last week. Congratulations, Coach Elwood. Our guy, James Varial at Tolosa Midway, he came out with a win as well, 28-14 over Moody.
Yep.
And Coach Carnegie over in Three Rivers got a win. So
Yeah, I feel like
congratulations,
we've been
guys.
talking about Coach Carnegie at a different school every year since we've done this show.
It is what it is, right?
Right? Right? God. We were there for the retirement. We were there for the unveiling again.
Yeah. So
It's
so
crazy.
that okay, so there was that. I meant to talk about that earlier and I forgot, but let's jump into the games, right? So Thursday night, Kingsville, San Antonio, Breckenridge. I think we all had Kingsville in
Kingsville
this
was
one.
the pick on that one. Yeah.
We'll have to go back and check the tape, but they came out big, 42-21. And Ruben was saying they did not play as well as they should have. He was yeah, of course, right? Yeah, well, we could have done better, but that's what he says, right? So
Yeah,
there's more
no,
potential there for Kingsville.
Yeah, no, I think that was a good statement win for them, right? Anytime you go into a San Antonio matchup and you come out with a victory like that, I think if you're from the Coastal Bend and that's your team, you got to feel good about it, right? Because being and don't get me wrong, not every San Antonio team is great. They have the highs and they have the lows, just like the Coastal Bend does. But I think that just is a little bit more of a confidence booster. You're able to get out of the area 2 hours away from you and really hand it to somebody like that. I think that's huge. I think before Coach got there, I'm not sure that we would be seeing that same result. So it's to me, it's signs of progress that you're seeing in Kingsville, and the fruits of their labor starting to come to fruition, right? And we saw this over in Foul, and it
Yep.
looks like we're seeing it here in Kingsville, dude. So it's going to be interesting, man, to keep an eye on the Brahmas this year. They're going to be a fun team to watch for us out of the Coastal Bend.
Our guy Robbie Chavez up in San Antonio was at this game, and there were some wild highlights in that game. Just some wild plays that he caught on video, and I shared them to our story on the page. And
Yeah,
I can't go. Obviously, the story's gone now, but if you have a chance, go look up Robbie CTV and look at those Kingsville highlights that he got on. They're very good videos. So congratulations, Brahmas.
dude,
Congratulations.
Robbie's been kind of quiet. I hadn't seen nothing or even thought about Robbie until you reposted those the other day, and I was like,
Yeah,
dude, I totally forgot about Robbie for some reason. I don't know. It
dude.
seems like he's
Robbie
always
has
just
this. He has his hands in everything, dude. He's like
yeah,
doing covering boxing. He looks like a NASCAR racer because he's got all these. He's got a jacket and he's got all these advertisers on his jacket. It's like Ricky Bobby.
no way.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean,
I have to see it. Love it.
next game, Bishop in London. London came out on top 45-13. Got a player of the week nominee on that one. A League Tank Solutions player of the week nominee, Alexander Manning, came out of that game pretty good. 274 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, almost 100 yards rushing, 96 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns in the
Yeah.
Pirates win over the Badgers.
And Aiden Salinas did his thing as well. Him and Manning were right there for me. Manning's rushing yards and touchdowns kind of put him over the edge, right? And then we had big receiver play, which you'll hear about here a little bit later on. That kind of toted that. But Aiden Salinas had a really good game as well. So yeah, no, London. I think London's got some stuff, man. They're one of our little teams that we've been talking about a little bit. That if they piece them things here to get together here and there with that tough district, you never know, man. They can make a little run as the season progresses, or come up with a couple upset games.
And that's what they need because that district is very
You
tough
need
at the top. It's very top heavy, and they're going to need to win some of those games that they're not supposed to win.
you
But
have to have that to start kind of building that tradition, right? Building the tradition of that we win these big games, right? We win these big games.
yep, yep. So congratulations, guys. That moves us on to Friday night. Alice at Carroll. This was it was close for a little bit. And the Coyotes just broke it wide open. They had a 28-point second quarter in this game. It's a 48-28 Alice win in a peanut butter bowl. I'd like to see the count on that peanut butter at that game, just to see how much was collected. Um, but
We need to go back to the tape on this one because
I picked Carroll.
I want to say you and Q both picked Carroll, and I was the one that was rolling with Castellano in this one. And,
Yeah, I picked Carroll.
I'm not going to name drop him on the show, but there's a certain Alice Homer in the Coastal Bend, big Alice Homer, that said Carroll was going to walk Alice out of that stadium. So
Oh, he did 100%. This person,
we heard that
sorry,
Thursday
this
night at Miller Vets. We heard it during his breakdancing battle. He screamed it in the middle of his breakdancing battle. Alice was going to get walked out. So
in the middle of a head spin, right? Yeah.
you know who you are. You know who you are, dude.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so they surprised me. So those young Coyotes really did come ready to play. Carroll did run for 263 yards. Robert Muhammad kicked off the season with I think a 50-something yard touchdown run on the first play from Carroll from scrimmage.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the norm for them, dude. I think Muhammad's going to get his now. Whether or not they piece it together throughout the season, that's going to be the I guess the big question mark behind Carroll, right? But you went against a newer Alice program, right? Younger maybe, but Muhammad definitely is going to be the bell back, right? We talked about coming in last week into that game and whatnot. Now I think that's a little surprising score for some people though, considering the fact that Alice was losing so many players, right? So what do you take of that? Like, do you think that's the program is starting to already get the roots deep? Like what do you think that is?
I think so, dude. I mean, we've always said Alice has had great athletes, right? They've
Yeah.
got ball players.
Yep.
Um, I think they finally it's like Daryl Royal used to say right back when he was still alive and coaching the University of Texas. You got all these BBs and you got them scattered all over the place. The key is to get those BBs and get them back in the box. And I think that's what he's doing. He's getting those BBs
Yeah.
back in the box. And they're starting to click, dude.
Yeah. Dude, so I don't want to take away too much from Alice right here, but since we're talking about it real quick and just talking about the coaching system to come in and do that and put them in the right direction, did you see where Holiday is ranked in the state of Texas?
No. Are they well they were ranked last year top 10. Are they top 5 this year?
They're sitting at number 6, maybe cracking top 5. It
Hmm.
just it popped up on my Texas Football Today app last week when I finally logged in after they crashed for the 100th time, and it just kind of shocked me. I was like, "Wow, man, how the rich get richer on that one." You know what I mean? Just it just
Yeah.
floors me a little bit, but yeah, no, I think Alice is moving in the right direction.
Read between
They
the
got,
lines, right?
yeah, they got the juice coach. They got the juice coach.
Yeah.
So that's good.
But here's the thing. This is where it could be a problem. We'll talk about it when we talk about next week's games. But they did that. Coyote defense gave up 263 yards running this week.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you're going to be playing a team. I'll save that for later. We'll talk about that when we talk about the game next week. But yeah, maybe show up that run defense a little bit before next week or before this week, right? But congratulations.
Defense they got that was horrible from my understanding. We'll get into that later, but
Yeah. We'll get into it. All right. So, well, I guess we'll get into it now. Gregory Portal at Cal Allen. Cal Allen escapes with a 42-40 win.
yeah.
684 rushing yards between the two teams. 484 for Cal Allen. And I think another player of the week nominee, Ricardo Rodriguez, had 243 of those on 2 touchdowns. Not but for the Wildcats, your Wildcats, what Devin Adelar? Is that his name?
No.
Adame.
I mean,
Adame had 199 yards running. So that's a pretty good performance there as
195,
well.
I think. 195,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Man, obviously I didn't see this game because I was with you and Quero watching Columbus handle their business,
But we
but
were getting updates. Thank you, Rebecca.
we
That's
were
my
getting
wife.
updates, and then I was looking at. I was watching a little bit here and there. I would kick into that Wildcat TV that Cal Allen runs, and I'd see a little bit. But the report I got was offensively they were okay. Cal Allen's defense is non-existent. Outside of the 2 fumbles that I think Portland had on kick returns that killed them, and then special teams in our defense really, 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 really need improvement. So to me, not super shocked about the defense because I know we had some good turnover. I was expecting a little more, to be honest with you, though defensively than that showing, especially against a team that, from what I understood, was struggling to get that new offense going. But special teams, man, that was a problem last year, and that was one of the ones that kind of just bothered me last year because I just didn't understand how could we not get a return man or a punt return man to be consistent back there, right? Like we had so many muff punts last year in punt, muff kick returns, and I just don't really. That one just blows me away. Like, how do we not have the athlete back there that can handle those, right? And here again, fumbled twice, which proved pretty costly, right? Because I think at one point it's 42-20.
Yeah. So there was a 22-point difference there that GP was able to crawl back from.
Which tells me Cal Allen secondary is not very strong. That's going to be a problem for them. Probably playoff time. I'm not too sure that's going to bite them so much in the butt against district other than Alice. Maybe TM a little bit. But yeah, now Portland's got to have to. There's going to need some wake up calls going on there because you're sitting in Miller's district, right? So if your secondary and defense are weak, Miller's going to have a field day with that. And then you can't sleep on teams like Carroll, right? Because they can come in with a guy like Muhammad and who's going to run the ball, and you gave up over 240 plus to Cal Allen's running back, who honestly I'm not downplaying the kid, but when I looked at him versus running backs to the pass from Cal Allen, it didn't really seem like the normal ball carrier Cal Allen's had in the past if you compare him to Brown and kids of that nature. So I was a little floored by that as well. So I don't know, man. A lot to unpack there. I know it's week 1. Emotions right high in that game, but I think GP definitely is going to have to get on that defense quick. They're going to need to figure out that special teams if they want to have a chance at making a good run in district. And then Cal Allen, of course, I can't unpack a lot there. I just am going off of what I was told. Defensively, sounds like they're going to have to clean up a lot of stuff as well moving forward, or else it could be a mid pack season for them as well. But hey, good one for Cal Allen. Shocked me, but it is what it is. It's football, right?
Yep, it's
Yep, it's
football.
football.
We're gonna
We're
we're gonna
gonna.
skip, we're gonna skip this one here just for a second. We'll bring it back down here in a little bit. Tyler, TJ, uh, in the chat, give us a quick rundown on that Orange Grove Rockport Fulton game. We'll be back. I sent some feelers out on that one, and the response I got was, "Man, that's a lot of info to plug in here."
Oh,
so so
on the
TJ,
Rockford Orange Grove game.
yeah, give us a little feedback. Let's jump to the next one. Moody at TM. TM gets that one 28-14. Adrian Luna had 123 yards rushing in that game and one touchdown. Sounds like a pretty good defensive effort. And it's one of the things that we talked about, right? Um,
Yeah,
I think Moody's here to play. They just don't have the depth right now. And I think that's what may have happened. If anybody was at that game that saw something different, let us know. Jump in the chat. Tell us how it went if you were there. Um, but I think Moody's going to turn some heads this year if they can, man, if they just don't get tired.
yeah. I think Moody's game right there against TM should show you that they're taking it serious, right? They're not a team that they're gonna just let you walk all over them, right? And of course, that was Coach Villarreal and TM's first time as a head coach running that program, right, this year. So probably some jitters there and a little bit of new stuff to go over as that game progressed for them. But you saw them pull away at the end and kind of seize control of that game. So I think TM's going to be just fine. I think they're a team that you're going to see improve as the year goes on, right? I think that's something that's going to be the norm for TM, kind of like Sinton and teams like Vets have shown us in the past. As far as Moody, I think they're just going to fight every week, right? They might not have the greatest record in the season, but I guarantee you come out of that game against Moody, and been a pretty good battle.
Yep. They're going to be here to play. That takes us to the 0-5 Bowl, right? Sitting at Beeville. Sitting finally comes up on top after 5 games, 48-8. That's the start that we would have liked to see Sitting make, right? Because like we
Yeah.
said in the last show with Q, is that they've always started kind of slow out the gate, and there's kind of picked up momentum as the season went on. Sounds like they've got it going pretty well right now.
Yeah, no, I think that should be no shock to the Sinton people of what they were able to do against Beeville. I think Beeville's going to be fine. They're breaking in a new head coach and Coach Holmgren. I've said before, I really liked him when he was here at GP as an offensive line coach. I'd be curious if anyone has any info on what kind of offense he rolled out there week one. But I think that Coach Troutman and Sinton are going to be a team that is going to be forced to reckon with in their district and in the Coastal Bend as well. I know the Cuero people have been pretty familiar with them, and I know when we were there, we were asked multiple times by different Cuero fans, "What's Sinton got this year?" They kind of downplayed it, like they weren't
Yep.
worried, but they were definitely curious as to what Sinton was bringing, right? Because they know, I think, the tradition that Sinton has, and relatively speaking, in the past, Cuero's gotten the upper hand a lot. But I saw that Cuero team the other day. I think they're a very good team. I think they're going to be a team that's going to have some stuff to work on as the season goes to get to the potential that they can be. And if Sinton's already there hitting on all cylinders when that matchup rolls around, could be a big year for the Pirates to actually flip one over on Cuero. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. I need to get eyes on Sinton as well, but that's kind of what I was taking away from watching Cuero play the other day. And don't get me wrong, dude, Cuero's good.
Yeah. So we'll get to that here in a little bit.
Don't take it like I
Yes.
don't think Cuero's good.
Do not take that score at face value, right?
No.
If that means anything. And that brings us to our Thursday night games, right? So we got a Thursday night game that we missed out because obviously it was our game of the week. Miller versus Vets. Miller came out on top 41-7. I don't think there's been that lopsided of a score in that game since the series started. Am I wrong? Anybody? Am I wrong? Anybody?
Nah, that's probably been the worst game. I think Vets has beaten Miller a couple times by a couple scores, but that was by far the worst since the rivalries began, I believe.
Yeah. And the biggest thing that they were talking, it started slow. If you guys saw this game, it was on TV. I think it may have been on the CCISD stream as well. Um, it started very slow, and we were kind of worried, like, oh man, is are both these teams not good, right? And we were just wondering how this thing was going to play out. It's been said that vets may be in Miller's head a little bit, right? No matter how good of a team Miller has, that it's that vets mentality, and could be there something there hanging there, right? Um, that theory was put to rest really fast uh, when George had that pick six, and it kind of just started the snowball of scoring there for Miller.
Yeah, I think the shock factor, right, was that we've seen this before. We've seen that game play out before where we thought Miller was gonna take it early on and just like blow this thing out, right? I think the people that have been following this matchup or these teams thought that Miller was going to be out of reach in the first quarter, right? Which, when you break it down, it's week one. There's kinks to iron out, right, in the game. It's a rivalry game still to the core. And, it's going to take a little while to kind of figure out what teams are doing and what's working and what's not working. And I think the big thing was vets really came riding pretty high. I think they felt like they could compete still because they're vets, and they had a good drive, a very surprising drive for me. Uh, get all the way down the very end, and Miller made a really good play defensively, and kind of showed that backbone that I think they're going to have this year. And then, like clockwork, they took it down. They moved the ball. Trevor moved the ball. They weren't very in sync for the most part, but they were able to get it down there. And then vets held them at the goal line, right? So then that started the back and forth seesaw, and then eventually you saw Miller take it. I don't want to harp too long on it. I think Miller's going to be fine. Their offensive line is probably the big question mark that it's going to need the most improvement. I think defensively they're going to be good for our district, and they're going to be good for a playoff run. I'm interested to see how they hold up against DeSoto. But the big thing I think, if you're Miller coming out of that game, is we need to figure out how the offensive line can get Broderick some space to run, and B, I think the pass protection was good enough to beat an average vets team. I think against better competition, they're going to need to be able to solidify the O line a little bit more. And then outside of that, receivers, per usual for Miller, you're going to see Corey Holmes do his thing. I think there's some younger names that you're going to see pop up throughout the year that will carry on the Miller tradition of skill kids. As for the vet side, they looked a little smaller up front on both sides of the ball than years past. The quarterback situation, they definitely need to find a man that can give a little more consistency there. And then, of course, skill wise, they have some athletes, man, but it's hard to do much whenever you got a pretty stiff defense on you, and then the quarterback plays not up to par of where you need it to be to get over that hump. So all in all, that's my take on that, on the Miller Vets game. It was a good way to kick the season off and whatnot. So I think both teams have things to work on, but we'll see it unfold.
Yep. You are right, TJ. Billy is not playing football. He was in the student section. And I really can't blame the kid. I think he just Texas just offered him.
Oh
And
wow,
I think that's up to like 13 D1 scholarships. And it's not like small D1 schools. He's got SEC offers, just like Quentin said last week. He's got big offers. And yeah, I don't blame him. So yeah, there's gonna be a break in period right there for Andrus at quarterback. Um, and I've heard through the grapevine that I think some of those vets coaches were like, man, I wish we didn't play Miller this early, because they're going to get better as the season goes on. I think once they get Andrus a little more experience, a little more playing time, um, I think they'll be fine. Um,
yeah.
will they be vets region finalists? Fine, they have been in the past. Probably not, but Sergio's getting mad. Hey, why are you commenting on both? Why are you commenting on Facebook and YouTube, Sergio? Pick one, dude. Come on. But I do appreciate the YouTube because we need to get the subscribers up there.
Yeah, get the YouTube going.
Get that one fired up, dude. So that brings us to I'm in agreement with you, Justin. I didn't see anything different. Oh, look at that. Can I heart this? Can you guys see that? Oh, the chat. Let me see. Oh, I hit it. Hang on. There it goes. Oh, see that,
Hey.
guys? Right there. There it is. So that brings us to our other game of the week, our Friday, our flop of a pregame show. And we wanted to see. So, like we said last week, Justin's a Columbus guy. Spent his formative years there in Columbus before he moved out to Portland. So he chewed it, like cut his teeth on Columbus football. And man, the Columbus is deep, dude. Deep.
Yeah, very.
I know. I know. All we've been talking about is this Grayson Rigdon kid. They hardly used him. I mean, he had 12, I think maybe 14 total touches out of all those plays they ran on offense, and they did not punt once. He only scored 3 touchdowns out of the 65 points they scored. Okay. They are deep, dude. And this is kind of goes back to what you said, Justin, about how Cuero was going to be just fine. This game, they were good, dude.
Yeah, no. Cuero, for the Cuero people that are watching the show, I think Cuero's going to be just fine. The locals I talked to, their big concern was finding a true Cuero running back, which they've never had an issue with in the past. And I think there's some truth to that, right? After watching that game, I think you definitely have a committee at best right now until you have that one guy break away. Quarterback wise, Marie, he actually once he settled in and kind of slowed it down a little bit and caught his breath, he looked fine. You know what I mean? Like he was able to put balls where they needed to be. He was able to move that offense. He just, he made some young mistakes. And keep in mind, that's his first varsity start at quarterback. You're going against a possible state championship contender, a very, very possible state title winner if they can keep this going with no injuries, right? And it just kind of snowballed, right? Like you get down there, you have to take a field goal. These dudes aren't punting; they're scoring every single time. Like it's a boat race, and they got a 300, and you're sitting there with a 150 trying, right? That's what it equates to. And I think Cuero's gonna be good. I think they're gonna have a good run this year. But dude, that Columbus team, the best way to describe it when we talked was they were mid-season form, week 1.
Yes,
For us, and he didn't think so.
He played it down big time. If that was his true assessment, I'd be really worried if I was an opponent of Columbus. But I think he may have just kind of been sandbagging it because they looked good, dude. You've got a D1 commit at quarterback. You've got a D1 commit at
tight end, DN,
tight end and D end, and then your running back who is an Air Force commit right now, or athlete, whatever you want to call him. He's a 3-star commit somewhere.
That'll be a 4-star by the time it's over with bigger offers.
That is
a play like that.
That's a deep team to have that much talent on a big 3A.
And that's the big 3.
That's a big 3A.
That's not number 11. That's not factoring in number 11 and number 12, the other 2 receivers who I was honestly really taken back with how well number 11 played. I didn't get the name, but number 11 Columbus was a dude
because their rosters didn't have numbers. So I mean, I could have guessed who it was, but
and then on top of that, man, the size that Columbus had for a 3AB1 was just across the board crazy. All the skill guys, 6'5", 6'4", 6'2", 6'3", 6 foot, 6'2", like they were impressive, man. D-line as well, O-line as well. It was impressive. I think Cuero's going to be fine. I think if you want to hook yourself to a wagon of a team that's been trying to bust out of the region finalists or the state semis, the Columbus has won, man. This is their chance, I think. So
there Braylon Fisher. Thank you. Yeah. Pictures, highlight videos.
So there you go, man. I was happy for the Cards. That was fun for me to watch. Kind of hated it for Cuero because I enjoy watching Cuero play football. Dietz was very good. They need to find a way to get the ball a lot more. So,
yeah. But I guess with more time, he'll be able to get the ball to him.
Absolutely.
But just if in case you guys didn't see it, because it's been making the rounds on Facebook, Dave Campbell's took our video and sent it everywhere. It's gone everywhere of this kid, and that was just 2 touchdown runs. So hang on just a
Oh, dude,
second.
he's a young Christian McCaffrey. He easily adjusted to the game change, easily.
Let's go. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't making that. In their heads, living free, I ain't paying rent. Wake up in the AM, making G's like Mercedes Benz. Whoa, yeah, please don't take offense. It isn't you, I'm just not interested in making friends. My biggest fear is finding out that this came and went. So go ahead, but I'm staying in. Okay, drop a song and pop up on your phone like I was YouTube. Connected to the fans without a hand, I did it Bluetooth. The only time I come up short is when they watching YouTube. Spinning with the drill, no wonder why my screws loose. Taking off and I can't stop, I beat them all by landslide. Houdini, I popped out of that box even with hands tied. Big dog like Sandlot, but it's real life, no fantasize. Count money, a damn lie, my hands clean, no sanitize. Whoa, had to switch up on the flow, gotta keep them on their toes. I move quick, I make the most, why they copy what I wrote. Follow everything I post, never trip about a clone. Cause they know what's a sheep to a goat. Yeah. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't making that. In their heads, living free, I ain't paying rent. Wake up in the AM, making G's like Mercedes Benz. Whoa, hey, please don't take offense. It isn't you, I'm just not interested in making friends. My biggest fear is finding out that
He's a dude, bro.
Dude, he's
He is a straight up dude on that football field.
yep, yep. So I mean,
That wasn't a
he was
BS.
everything
He
as
did that again.
advertised. Yeah,
He was
he was everything as advertised. And even before the game, people were saying, "Oh, he's not going to play. He ain't going to be able to play. He ain't going to be able to play." And man, he pulled. I mean, like we said, Cuero's not bad, dude. They are not bad. Mike Cantu, who's one of the photographers over there and the Booster Club president, he sent me a screenshot the next morning, and I don't have it on here. I have to pull it up on my phone. I'll pull it up to the camera real quick. And his words were, "This sums up last night." Hang on, let me find it here. Um, I even, who I sent it to, because he's an Air Force commit right now. I sent that video to Jamal,
Oh
and
well,
he was stoked, dude.
really?
Can you see it? The background's getting in the way. Man, I'm gonna have to send it to myself. All right, I'll send an email. Hang on. Okay, yeah, he was pretty stoked about it. He was like, "Awesome," and a lot of exclamation points. So we'll see if he ends up with his commitment to Air Force, because I'm pretty sure
He's
that a
gonna get
lot.
more offers.
Yeah, he's going to get more offers. He. Well, never mind. I'm not even going to say that. But before we're going to go to break here in a second. But before we go to break, let's talk about the Player of the Week nominees. We talked about 3 of them already because they were in some of our bigger games. But the 4th is Andre Mims, 5
Yeah.
receptions, 117 yards, 4 touchdowns for Flower Bluff against Mexico City. And a lot of folks are going to say, "Well, it's against Mexico City." Dude,
Football.
let me tell. I'm pretty sure there's other players on that receiving group that caught the ball 5 times and didn't score 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. The quality of opponent isn't there. However, not all of them did that.
Exactly.
Um,
The 4
we're gonna
touchdowns is what stood out to me. Whenever we were going over that list together, I was just really looking kind of hard at it. And of course, people got to realize that we're picking a player off a winning team, right? That kind of was probably the X factor to win that game. It's no doubt. Pelucio had 300 yards and 6 touchdowns, but man, 4 touchdowns off 5 catches as a receiver. That's a big week, dude. That's a big week.
Yep.
So I think Mims rightfully deserves to be right up there on that list.
I think so too. So you can vote on that for that poll, the Player of the Week, on our Facebook page and our X page, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I still call it Twitter. You can vote that. There's your 2 votes right there. You get 1 vote there, get 1 vote on Facebook. We combine the votes, guys. Don't forget that. Okay. So if your guy is leading on Facebook, but he's getting blown away on Twitter, that's what's going to happen, or it could even it. It could make it close. All right. So do not forget to vote on both pages. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to discuss next week.
Hi, I'm Brian Williford, president and owner of Al Williford Chevrolet in Portland, where we've been family owned since 1984. One word that we love around here is community. We have a heart for the coastal bend, which is why we value people first. Whether you're in the market for a new Chevrolet or a quality pre-owned vehicle, our friendly sales professionals are eager to help. We also have an amazing full-line service department featuring genuine GM parts and accessories to keep your vehicle running and looking its best. Plus, for life's accidents, we have a fantastic collision center where we repair all makes and models and work with most insurance carriers. Remember, when you buy from us, we're not looking for a one-time sale. We look forward to building a relationship together for years to come. Thank you, and we invite you to join the Al Williford Chevrolet family.
All right, thank you, Al Williford. Guys, if you're in the market for a new used vehicle, or just like Brian said, if you got some collision work that needs to be done, go see our guys there in Portland. They'll take care of you. So this week, as far as big games, I guess big games, it's kind of light on the schedule.
Very light here in College World.
Yeah, so week 2, right? The doldrums of week 2. So the first game that we're going to talk about is Seguin at Miller, 7 p.m. Buck Stadium. This one, so Seguin's coming off a 47-19 loss to Alamo Heights last week. Michael Terry and company. Here's an interesting nugget I got out of that game. They held Terry to 90 total yards of offense.
Really?
Yeah. So that score is kind of misleading. Seguin was also without 3 of their starters, a couple wide receivers and a running back last week. So they're missing some key pieces. I don't think that game is as representative as it needs to be. Kingsville still has some playmakers, man. They've got their quarterback, Corey Daly, has got offers from UTSA, Texas State, UIW, UTRGV. Nick Henry, who's a wide receiver, he's got 17 D1 offers right now. He's got a 10-4 100-meter dash. So they've got some players, dude. And 2 of the wide receivers that were missing are on their 4x100 relay team. So you got a couple other speedsters that were not there last week against Terry. And, we'll see. We'll see what happens if
Will
those
they
guys.
be back for this game? That's the question, right?
What's that?
Will they be back for this game? Do we know?
That's the question, right? We do not know.
I don't know, man. That's a difference. That's a hell of a difference of a lot of talent on the field at once.
Yeah.
Right? Alamo Heights is a good team. The fact they kept Terry to 90 yards total is kind of crazy to me. The only thing I could see there is maybe them getting up kind of relatively fast and just kind of pulling the reins back a little bit, knowing that what Seguin didn't have out on the field right at the time, because coaches talk and they know who's who right coming into that game. So maybe that's what it was. I'd like to see something from Damone,
buddy.
Big Brandon in San Antonio. Give us a lowdown. I'm gonna check in with him actually to see if he's got intel on Seguin bringing those players down against Miller, because that'll be interesting. Because that changes a lot.
So here's another thing that's going to give you a little heartburn here. Special teams gave up 14 points for them last week for Seguin.
Wow.
Yep. And they're already hurt, right? Just kind of said those were some of the injuries that they had. They have a few. They said the kids just ran out of gas. Is how thin they were. So, I mean, it's football, right? Injuries happen. It's just what it is. So if those guys are back, it's going to be key for those guys to have any success against Miller, I think.
Oh, it's going to be huge if they get those guys back from Miller. That could change up a lot of stuff.
Oh,
this is also going to give it, and I want to see him get it back because I want to see what Miller can do, right? They need those kids to play against them, right, to kind of prep them for the DeSoto challenge, right? Because if you come in and you're not seeing good talent or good athletes, then you have to see a spark plug like what DeSoto's bringing to the table right now. Because, good Lord, I saw their
they beat the number one. Was it the number 1 ranked team in Georgia last week?
They were the defending 5A state champs in Georgia.
70-0.
Ran them off the field, dude.
That was a dude.
They the term dog walk,
dude.
They dog walk them. So I don't know. Anyways, hopefully, hopefully Seguin brings those athletes, and that way Miller can get a live look, and then we can see what Miller can do against some athletic pieces that Seguin has to bring.
Yep. So that should be a good.
Ernie coaches on it. We'll ask Ernie. There you go.
Where do you think I got the information from?
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you have nothing to do on Friday night, head down to Buck Stadium, grab some popcorn, grab a seat. That should be a very good game this week. And if it's not, you'll see the Bucks win big. I think Miller takes this one. Just because the uncertainty of those kids being back, I think Miller's going to take this one.
I'm going to roll Miller as well.
The next game that kind of raises an eyebrow is London at Refugio. Refugio coming off a 49-6 win over Catula, like we said earlier in the show. Drew Cox's first win as a head coach there in Refugio. Congratulations, Coach Cox. Um, we saw Mike Foreman from the Victoria Advocate at our pregame. See, this is what really bummed us about it not working is because Mike Foreman just showed up there
Yeah,
and we had him on the show. He came on the show and he was talking. And I mean, that was great information that he was giving.
good content.
It was great content and it just froze. And dude, I mean, we didn't even talk about the contingency plans that we had ready to get this thing going, right? So the stream went out. Okay, we can we'll go Facebook Live with our microphones. For some reason, when you go Facebook Lives with our microphone, you don't hear anything, but on the playback, you hear it all. I don't understand that. So then we're like, okay, we'll just go Facebook Live with our phones and just record us, and you could barely even hear us.
It was loud in there, dude.
It was loud.
There was a lot of people there watching and were listening. Mike's a quiet talker as is, right? He needs a microphone. So yeah, no, dude, it was good content, guys. That's the crappy part about it. I really felt like it was flowing really well. So, I mean, we'll get it figured out. But yeah, it was good stuff, man.
So back to the point about Mike Foreman being there. He was giving us the skinny on Refugio, right? Because we don't. They're kind of closed off that staff, right? It's really hard for us to make ground to get in with that staff. But they're running. They're running a lot. We were told that they're going to be running the air raid, and that Keelan was going to be pitching the ball right and left, all over the place. They're giving a heavy dose of Jordan King, which
Yeah.
which is what you should probably do when you have a running back like that in the backfield.
Yeah, that and the fact that dang, it's raining. That and the fact that the receivers from Refugio are a lot younger, right? They graduated a lot of receivers, so that's the unproven point right there. So I think it's easy for them to establish the run, right? And from there, they can continue on with it. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, that wasn't shocking to hear that, I guess, because it just fit the bill. They have the gunslinger out there in Refugio, and it's like they continue to want to run with it. So uh, yeah, I don't know. I think Refugio is going to win this game, but I think London's going to push them.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, and that's why I circled it right now. London's a bigger school than Refugio, right? But I mean, scrimmages, regular season games, Refugio has not had a problem putting London away. Um, I think that could change this year. Do I want to say London's going to win? No, I'm going to pick Refugio in this one, based on. I mean, they know how to win these games. They play bigger schools all the time. They know how to win them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I mean that's a good pick. That's the best pick probably for it. But I do think London's going to push them. I
Yeah,
saw some Refugio by 21. I could agree with that.
yeah, but hang on, let me I don't know. We'll see. And then our last game of the week, or not last game, but this is one of them. And somebody commented in the comments earlier. Port Lavaca Calhoun at Sitten. Calhoun's coming off a 41-32 loss to Yoakum. Very little defense played by both teams in that game, is the report I'm getting. Yoakum quarterback couldn't be stopped on the ground, and Calhoun's option couldn't be stopped. Pretty familiar, right?
Pretty familiar.
Yeah. Really, the difference maker was a stop in the fourth quarter by Yoakum, and they converted that stop into a rushing touchdown. Number 5, their quarterback is he's a show. So if you've seen any Yoakum games, that's the guy to look for, number 5. And for Calhoun is Isaiah Cabriales is playing corner, and I guess he was up on their stud number 11, who's a 3-star.
They said he locked him down.
He locked him down.
Paco
And,
about today said he locked that guy down, dude.
That's where my information is coming from. Thank you, Mr. Cobb. But their running back was out this week. Derek Salinas, who's their stud, he was out that last week is with a strained ACL. He may be back this week. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a very good ball game.
Where's this one at?
It is in Sinton.
Give me Sinton by 21.
Sinton by 21. All right.
Yeah, I think Sinton will handle him, dude. I think so. I might go out there, dude. I might pack up the family and go over there, dude. No, sell my
Hey,
tickets.
hey, Caleb.
I'm talking about the game, dude. I ain't
I know
moving
what
over
you mean.
there,
I know
dude.
what you mean.
There's no way in hell I'd move over there. But for this week,
Oh man, yeah. I think I'm gonna go with the Pirates too, just because they have that hometown feel. I'm pretty close.
yeah,
No, I've actually been
skateboarding,
skateboarding a lot,
skateboarding,
Marcus.
dude.
If anything, I'm losing weight. I'm down
Skate or
to
die.
I think I'm down to like 173 pounds right now. Is what I was telling my wife. I was down up to close to 190, dude. Before we talk about this last game, I've been turning my watch on, right, my to count my work because, dude, I'm like winded. I threw up the other day. Uh,
Got
just
the
at this
video.
little skate park. I kind of pulled over to the side and just kind of blew chunks real quick. It was just dry heaves and liquid IV. But I was gassed, dude. Like I I I haven't worked out like that in a long time, and I was gassed. So yeah, I'm losing weight by skateboarding. So if anybody's having trouble losing weight, get on a skateboard. Just
It's crazy.
start pushing
Right?
yourself around. Yeah, dude. I don't remember it being this tiring. I'll show that video here in a little bit if if we have time. But let's jump into our game of the week. I will not be at any games this week because I start nights tomorrow. So I'll be on nights till next Friday morning. So I'll be rolling out just in time just in time to head to San Antonio. Really, because that's
It's the
Miller
game.
Miller DeSoto. Um, so
Game.
Cal Allen at Alice. What are your thoughts?
Man, right off the bat, gut says Alice. I think Alice is a better team all around than where GP's at right now. Uh, I think the defense for Alice is what's going to be the difference, right? I think GP's defense is really down right now, so it was able to help Cal Allen get the offense established, or at least somewhat. So I think that's going to be the big telltale right there. I don't want to give a score on it. It's kind of hard to say. Just because I didn't get to actually physically see both teams, but if I were a betting man, I'd probably go by Alice by 4 scores in this one. Um, if they don't make the mistakes, I think they can kind of put Callan away rather easily. I'm probably going to catch some heat if Alice proves me wrong on that. But oh well. As far as Cal Allen goes, dude, here's the test, right? Can you slow down that offense from Alice? What Lucian Cruz and them bring, right? And then can your offense, can you repeat the same thing that you did last week against GP, or was that just being you know or was that just being the fact that GP had a really bad defense, right? So I think that's what's gonna be the difference is what Alice's defense does on the field, and that's why I'm going with the Coyotes. I think they're gonna. I've always said it already before this year. I think FB and Alice and Miller are probably your 3 tougher teams, along with Sinton as well. So I got the Coyotes winning that game.
I think so too. I think I don't think Cal Allen is just ready yet. I mean, everything that we've heard from the defense from last week, not just from you, but from my little Cal Allen group that I'm in, um, they're going to struggle a little bit. They've got to get their footing. Again, they've only had a few months to get this system down, so it's going to take a bit, right? What I did hear though is that when Cal Allen tried to spread the ball around, they had no problems. Um, but I guess towards the end of the game, to close that 22-point gap, they kind of got tunnel vision and kept running something that wasn't working. Um, so I mean, we'll see what happens, right? But I think I'm with you on this one. I think Alice has too many weapons. We didn't even talk about Lucian Cruz. I mean,
No,
he had a great game last week. So I mean, that's a kid that we didn't talk about, and their defense stepped up as well. So yeah,
yeah,
I think Alice in this one all day. And if I'm wrong, well, I'm wrong, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is like Sergio said in the comments, right? Everyone was question marking the sophomores and juniors of Alice, right? And hey, let's it is what it is, right? They played Carroll. You don't really know exactly how great Carroll is, right? But they took care of business and they did what they did. I just say I feel like the defense from Alice will be the deciding factor in this game because, dude, Coach Castellano is a defensive minded coach, right? He's put together good defenses in Taft. He's put together good defenses in Alice. Like this is not something new. This is not something surprising. This just shows you that the gears are turning and it's continuing to be what Coach Castellano does, and that's have successfully tough teams with good offense. So, am I crazy for saying Alice to win that game against Cal? I don't think so. Am I biased? No, I admitted in the beginning of the show that I was shocked, and that hats off to Cal Allen. They outplayed GP. GP's got a really bad defense. That was proven. So we'll see. Right? You're gonna learn a lot more after week 2 than you would week 1. So
Yep.
it is what it is.
Yep. And as we go, right, it's such a young season. We've said this every year since we've done the show. Give us 3 weeks, and then you figure out who's good. Right.
Pretty much.
Usually after about week 3, you kind of have an idea of how these teams are going to be and what their identities are.
In your 4 teams, it's no shock. Shoot me if you think I'm wrong. Miller, Flower Bluff, Sinton, and Alice. That's been the anomaly coming in. And that's what we talked about in the preseason show. That's what we talked about in the weeks leading up to the show. Those are your 4 teams, right? That are probably the best 4 in the area. So it is what it is. And you're going to find out by week 3 who's rolling and who's they're pretenders.
Yeah, Shane, no, you're right. Nobody was predicting Cal to score 42 points, but I don't think anybody predicted them to give up 40 as well. I think going into this, we thought Cal Allen's defense was going to probably be the strong point in that game.
We thought it was going to be a low-scoring game. Me, you, and Q were all projecting in the low 20s, I believe, for that game.
Yep.
Boy, we're wrong.
Yeah. So,
and honestly, everything we were told from our Cal Allen insiders was defense looked great. Defense was the strong point, but the offense from Cal Allen was not clicking or not moving. Yep. So you gave up 40 to probably a pretty good offense, right? They have a good offense in Portland. There's no doubt about that. But then you scored 42 against what I was told was a weak defense. I heard our secondary was really weak. I heard our linebackers were young and weak, and it proved. You won 42-40, right? It shows. Secondary and defensive line or linebackers are weak, and then I'm a little surprised we put up 40 considering y'all had a great defense that I was told about. So I don't know. I don't know what to take of it. I didn't actually see the game. So.
Yep, I didn't either. But I mean, I guess we can go back and watch it. But it's
very disgusting. I tried to go back and watch it to see if I can get but they take it right down. Very disgusted, Lavelle. Very disgusting.
Yeah, and Michael, you're right, man. If it's not for GP, I mean, it's football, right? If GP got that 2-point conversion, I mean, that game could have gone to overtime, and who knows what would have happened, right? And that, if you saw the replays on that was close. It was like fingertip close to missing that 2-point conversion. So it was there. But yeah, so like you said, as it goes on, it's early in the season. Give us week 3, week 4, and then we can say, okay, these are the teams that are good and these are the teams that are not good. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So before we go, I'm gonna start incorporating this in the show, a little skateboarding clip. Okay. I don't have my vomit pick in here. I didn't put that on a video. I saved that. It's on my phone. But this is how I'm looking jacked, Lavelle. All right, here we go, share screen. Here we go. Bowl. So I figured it'd be a good place to go kind of putt around and get comfortable in bowls. And it did. It was a great little spot. But, just with everything, just when you think you have things down, it takes a whole 180 the other direction. And boy, was I humbled today. But still, all in all, good day. Got really comfortable in this little thing and got some grinds down. But until next time. Oh, yeah, this one, it hurt as bad as it looks. So I heard about this park that had a little...
That's homie.
So, yeah, there's your... Hey, you may need to get on a skateboard, pal. All right, we've saw your profile there, buddy.
Oh, dude.
Guys, thank you again for tuning in.
Hang on.
Okay.
I got to ask. If this goes the way we're predicting, Alice Cal Allen, can I expect the Saturday morning video like last year from you, Sergio? Because I watched that probably a million times.
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about? When
what was it?
He got in the video. He said, "Good morning, Cal Allen fans." Dude, he starts laughing.
He said yes. He said yes.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to repost the one from last year just so we can get that going.
Yeah, I got to see it again. I don't know which one you're talking about. But
guys, I died laughing. I watched it 100 times. That was the funniest thing ever. Good morning, Cal Allen fans. Immediately starts laughing.
Guys, thank you for watching again. We appreciate your continued support. Thank you to Al Williford Chevrolet. Thank you to Dawson's Recycling. for allowing us to grow and allowing us to be able to do more things for the Coastal Bend. We still got another trick up our sleeves coming up for a game in a couple of weeks, right? So stay tuned for that. Um, we've talked to the right people um, to get this thing going. I think we may have to jump over one more hurdle, and then we'll put it out there. But guys, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, and we'll see. Oh, dude, we're gonna have to do a pre-recorded show. We're gonna have to record on Sunday because I'll be working Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. I won't have time to do it live.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so guys, you're gonna get a canned show on next Tuesday, next Wednesday. But again,
Good.
guys, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you later.